What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for a strategy with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So here we have MSTR's chart for today, and there was a significant drop today. Almost 9 percentage points, all the way from about the 350s, 359 to about 328. So it closed right near the lows of the day, which is not a good sign. So let's go over what happened. Well, obviously we were at resistance. This was prior support here, support turned into resistance here, and just on Monday, you can see that price was struggling to push through the 360 level. This was not a break above this level with conviction or with decision. It's indecision, right? It wasn't a strong break above like this, a pullback and a retest for higher prices. Basically, it barely broke above, not showing signs of strength in the breakout. And then if it broke this bullish trend line right over here, which it did, then there was a good chance it would fall down quite a bit, probably back down to the 320s. And that's exactly what happened. So basically, there's nothing random on this chart, right? We were right at resistance, like over here. We broke the bullish trend line. The next support level would be back down to the lows at the 320s. I mean, it's pretty reliable, the chart. It's pretty, it's not like random, which is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not doing anything weird or out of the ordinary. It just goes back between some levels, right? We are bouncing around this level, failed breakout lower, try to break out higher, failed. Now we're just, still chopping between the 360 and the 320s. So today basically broke down lower. So what's going to happen now? Well, this one can be ignored because it's not really in play anymore. Is that major uptrend line still in play? Well, typically when you break above it, we did see a nice break below it once again. That's not a good sign. It's not the end of the world. If we can see another big green day tomorrow that takes back all that drop, that definitely can happen. So I'm saying it's not over, but it's typically not what you want to see. And now we're back testing this bearish trend line. You see that price was below this bearish trend line for a while. We broke through it. Maybe we're going to back test it for support right around the low 300s. That's where the horizontal level is at as well. For higher prices, yes, that can definitely happen. But if we break the 325 level with conviction, there's a good chance that we're not going to see another fill breakout like this right here. This is probably going to be the real one that can continue much lower. So we'll see what happens for MSTR. It's kind of in a place where it can go up or down. I know people hate to hear that, but no one knows the future with certainty. And as of right now, we don't know what's going to happen, right? It could continue trending down lower, break that support, and move down, or it could bounce off this level, move back up higher towards the 350s and 360s. So we'll see what happens. But this was not a day that you would want to see as a bull, and it can continue much lower than you think. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we do find support at the 320s, 325, find support, and then bounce for higher prices, or if that 320s is going to give up, and then we're going to drop down lower. Looking at Bitcoin also had a decent sized correction. I mean, it was pretty obvious that was going to happen sooner than later. I was expecting higher prices, more higher prices before a drop, but again, a drop this early is not that bad either, because typically the higher you go without retesting the breakout, that's the bigger the drop can occur. So the sooner it happens, the better it is. EMA is not really that overextended anymore from the price. We did break the bullish trend line, but again, it could be drawn slightly, slanted, meaning like, let's say we develop another one. So you just readjust it. So this is still technically in play. Let me look at the 4-hour. Yeah, so we definitely did break it, but it looks like we could be recovering that already. So again, it's not really a big break, and we're still above the prior all-time high levels. So we're still looking pretty good for Bitcoin. MSTR, not so good. This is another chart I'm looking at more recently, the Bitcoin Historical Volatility Index, BVOL. I don't know how accurate this thing is, but I mean, this is telling me that we're near the lows of the volatility, basically dating back to about 2023. So that's 2 years ago of low volatility. Well, basically, we're right near the lows 2 years ago of low volatility. We had higher volatility before, and now we're back near the lows. So typically, right around this level is when we see higher volatility develop. So I think sooner than later, we will probably see it maybe mid to late October towards the end of the year. And seasonally, that's typically what happens. You can see that we do see a run up in the mid to early November into about late November before it cools down. So that kind of aligns with the price action of Bitcoin running up towards the end of the year before it cools off. So I want to see this volatility increase. That is what the bulls need for higher prices. You want to see, continued volatility towards the upside. So that means that we can see a big green candles, and then we see higher prices. And then last but not least, Bitcoin's price divided by MSTR's price gets you 372. It requires 372 shares to buy one Bitcoin now, versus before it only required 348 shares of MSTR to buy one Bitcoin. So basically, we're seeing a new high develop. You can see there's a breakout happening above this 369 level. It's targeting right around the 432 level. So that is the measurement target. Yesterday, I was looking at the trend lines. We were below a bearish trend line, but at the same time, we did not see a break of the bullish trend line either. We were right at it. So it could have broken down, it could have broken up. In this case, don't fight the trend. So the trend is still working up, and it did break up higher. So there's a good chance that this will continue moving up. You can just readjust the trend line slightly, something like that, drag it across. So the trend is still in play. And it looks like we're probably going to be seeing higher points. I don't think this is price, it's probably points, higher points on this chart, which means that Bitcoin will probably continue to outperform MSTR. So even if MSTR goes up, this chart is telling me that Bitcoin will go up more. If Bitcoin drops, MSTR is going to drop more. So that's what this chart is telling me. And that's basically what happened today. Bitcoin dropped, MSTR dropped more. If Bitcoin goes up and recovers, MSTR most likely won't recover as much. We'll have to wait and see. But as right now, this looks like we're going to see a continued outperformance against MSTR just using Bitcoin. As you can see, the chart is still trending up. So it's requiring more MSTR shares to buy one BTC. So Bitcoin basically just had a correction. I don't think this is the top. This is probably just shaking people out. I still think this is a very bullish thing. Even in the other breakouts higher, you can see that we had red candles. This move up right here was a pretty significant move. And you see those bunch of red candles here. There was a huge drop here. We still went up higher. So even in these breakouts, you will see, a pullback. Same thing right here, a little pullback, pullbacks right here, pullbacks, pullback, and then we still went up higher. I think there's another one right here. Yep, even this one right here had a pullback right here before we went up higher. So again, I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary for Bitcoin. Most likely it will continue trending up higher. MSTR, well, again, it's not something you want to see. Aftermarket or post-market is slightly up, but again, I mean, it needs to get above the 360 with conviction, right? This is not with conviction. As you can see here, this was a failed attempt. You want to see like a strong move up like that. Just like how the bears broke through the 360 level with conviction right here. That's what you want to see in reverse. You want to see a break above with conviction and then either consolidate for a bull flag or a pullback downward for higher prices, something like that. So see what happens for MSTR. As right now, it could be back testing this bearish trend line, or we may be just suggesting it to start a new downtrend. So that one could definitely play out as well, because if you clone that line, you drag it to the lows, that fits pretty good. Let me go ahead and remove all the drawings to make it more obvious. We had this prior trend line in play right here, so maybe we're just back testing that, filling in the gap, and then moving up higher. So there was this channel in play, but as more price action develops, the patterns get larger, so we could be in a bigger channel, something like that. That also works out. So I'll leave it on like this for now. Let's see what happens, and definitely monitor that 360 level. I'll put a horizontal line there as well. So let's finish off the video looking at the weekly chart. And not a good start to the week, right? It was looking bullish just a few days ago or just yesterday. And now the week is looking pretty bearish already. So let's see how this develops. This looks like maybe a back test of the 360 level for more downside momentum. So I'm not really liking what I'm seeing here, but it's not the end of the world. It's just not a good sign, right? Even this trend line right here on the weekly, we had that in play, but this could be a back test of the long-term trend line as well. So you see that right here, and we're kind of still staying below it, or we could just move it up higher. Again, there's some subjectivity involved with trend lines. It's not a perfect thing, but the goal is to be close enough and draw what is most likely to play out, right? We're not drawing like something like this. I mean, like, is that really helpful? We're not really drawing like this. Like, what is that going to do, right? It's just a line right through all the candles. So you draw what the price is doing. And it's easier to see that probably on a line chart. If I switch a line chart, you can see that we went down here. We made a down move, pullback, down move, pullback, consolidation, breakout lower, fail, strong move up, strong move down, and now there's a good chance it maybe even continues lower if that support level fails, or if it does want to maybe form an inverse head and shoulders, we could move up higher. So let's see what happens. Like I said before, I'm not really going to be bullish long term until we can get above the 360 level, because that has been resistance for a while now. But it's not the end of the world either, because we're back at support now. There's a little support right here, at the 320s. So let's see what happens for MSTR. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.